Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to an all new episode of Point of View. Tonight, we're breaking down the biggest headlines and what's trending right now. Coming up, a judge has officially dismissed Chris Brown's defamation lawsuit tied to the History of Violence documentary. Then another police brutality headline is back in the spotlight with many more, raising the same uncomfortable questions about accountability and consequences. And Mattel thought they were making progress with their Autistic Barbie, but instead of applause, well, they're facing backlash. So we're asking, who gets to decide what representation really looks like? Joining us at the table are our co-host, Danielle and Shirley.
Yeah.
Yes, and along with our host, Natalia. So pull up a seat, join the discussion. You're watching POV. All the Chris Brown fans out there, y'all must be feeling the same thing. Just can't seem to catch a break, Chris Brown. Last January, he filed a $500 million defamation lawsuit against the Warner Brothers, the company behind the 2024 documentary, Chris Brown, A History of Violence, accusing the filmmakers of spreading false information, but the judge ruled the film was a fair and true representation and account and dismissed his case entirely. What do y'all feel about that?
First, I would like to say that I don't know if I actually feel like the judge found that it was fair and true, or if it was more so that it wasn't defamation of character and that it was, based on opinion and it wasn't like twisted fact, because it initially made me think about the Cardi B and Tasha K case where Cardi did end up, winning for defamation. But nonetheless, honey, whether I have all the facts or not, let the man live. And I am hoping that now that this case is over, I'm hoping that, I know maybe it seems and it wasn't fair to Chris, but I hope that he just lets it go and goes on with his life because allegedly I was hearing that the film or the documentary didn't do that well anyway, so not that many people saw it.
I never saw it.
I didn't see it. I didn't even really hear about it too much. I remember hearing about it initially, but there wasn't a big uproar about it. And so I think that he ultimately maybe should be a little bit grateful for that. Like
maybe his
people
number
ain't worried
was
about
too
it.
high. 500 million, that's a lot. So maybe
Yeah.
he should have scaled it down a little bit to win. That was a lot.
Yeah, it wasn't fair.
But I do agree with you. I don't know about the fair and true part either. But like, I feel like it was mostly like opinions and things like that. I don't know how true it was, but again, I didn't watch it, so I don't know what it was. But we know what defamation of character is, and we know that he has a violent or has had a violent history or whatever in past. But it's almost like when you're famous, you can't get rid of anything from your past. Like, that was over 10 years ago. Like, are we going to, granted, he's had some mistakes since then, but, like, are we going to hold it against him for the rest of his life? This man going to be 90. Y'all talking about, remember what Chris Brown did to Rihanna? Like, when are we going to let it go?
Listen, honey, and I don't even feel that way about it. I feel like, remember what Rihanna did to Chris Brown. At the end of the day, because wasn't he the one that bit her in the face?
They was fighting each
other. We talk
other.
about this a million times. When you bite someone, you're not winning. You're not winning. So he clearly wasn't being us. Come on. Come on. Don't act like y'all ain't never been in number 4. When you bite somebody, that's all you could do. That means she had him locked up in a chokehold. She was winning. She did it.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that we for some reason hold him accountable for his actions, even though he's already taken accountability for his action. Like, we're constantly trying to make him realize the error of his ways, and it's like he already had to do that. So that makes me think, when will we forgive someone for something that they have taken accountability for, that they have gone to court for, that they have served time for, that they have issued apologies for? Like, when did we stop?
and lost money for
Right.
it.
Let's
He
take a
wouldn't
look
get
back
booked
at the
for a lot.
trailer. Chris Brown, A Violence of History.
Chris Brown's an amazing and talented musician, but let's call a thing a thing. He's a abuser of women, consistently, unapologetically.
Did Chris pull a gun on that girl? When is your hearing for your restraining order?
There's a long list of various different women
Seem pretty upset. Are you sure you don't really call victims advocates, have them come talk to you?
who've accused Chris Brown of assaulting them.
Singer Chris Brown has been detained in an alleged case of rape.
He has an audience full of assault deniers.
Chris Brown's an amazing...
So you guys say that it was opinion-based, but it seems like, I guess when the judge looked at this, to the extent of the definition of defamation, he did not feel like his case was substantiated
because
by that.
It's a proof.
But also,
You think it's proof?
Well, proof from what's actually happened. Him going to court, them releasing documents that someone tried to sue him.
That's pretty much what it's based on. Not
Carucci
saying
putting it out,
you're a rapist.
yeah, we're
They're
not
just
saying
showing-
that
okay.
he actually beat this woman up,
Right.
But just to say that, they cannot be held liable for defamation of character because a lot of what was put in the film was public information. It's not that things that they just made up.
Yeah.
But honey, listen, I was thinking about before, we saw that clip when you were asking, when will we forgive? And when I think about people, I feel like often it seems like we don't forgive for the apologies that are actually made. And when people actually admit they're wrong, but we somehow seem to get over it quicker when people just act like they didn't do anything wrong. Look at our president. You know what I'm saying? And other people that take no accountability or responsibility for their actions, then we'll let them go on. You know what I'm saying? But the people that are actually saying, hey, I was wrong, forgive me. And even when I look at my own life, there are times that, you may own up to what you did, and that doesn't take anything away from what the other person did. But now they think that you're more wrong because you're the bigger person and you want to make atonement.
I will say that I feel like I said, he did lose out on a lot of money, a lot of opportunities for a long time.
That's accountability,
Correct,
right?
for a long time. And I feel like some people are finally starting to let him live and let him go. In these last two sold out tours showed that, because some people are like, oh, I'm not buying a ticket to see Chris Brown. Well, guess what? The rest of us did. And
They was lying, baby. That's what people talking about. They
was
weren't going to
lying.
Target, baby. They was at Target.
We've been seeing a lot of documentaries come out, all right, and I would say about mostly people in our community. I mean, do you think a documentary can truly be balanced when it focuses on allegations and headlines?
So I think that the allegations, the documentary was created because there is a high search feature or a high searchability of Chris Brown's violence in general.
Oh, really?
It is a very trending topic online. There are millions of articles of people documenting the moment it was put out to the public till today. And I think the person who created the documentary was like, since this is something that people have been searching for years and they want that timeline, I'm going to do something that other people haven't done and remove it from the article space and put it into the film space. And so they're like, we're going to take this information and just put it in film and go from there.
Yeah.
I will say, if Chris Brown is going to take the opportunity to sue somebody, he's going to have to sue everybody. Because the history of violence of Chris Brown is a notable topic on the internet. We're talking millions of searches on that specific topic.
And then at some point, do we look at the reasoning behind these documentaries and films? Is it really for accountability? Is it really for awareness? Or is it are you trying to get money? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of makes you sigh. Like, what is this really for?
Well, there was a case that was dismissed of a young woman who said that she was raped by him, I guess in 2020 on P. Diddy's yacht. And it was like information that she withheld from that text message. And so her case was dismissed, I think, but on the basis that she withheld that information. So what you're saying, I can see that,
what's the intention?
What was the reason behind it? What actually happened?
I think it was information. I think that, again, like most documentaries, you're trying to put a place for people to just find the information, hopefully make money, and transition the content from one medium to the other. And it would be the first and only time someone has taken that history that other people have written about or make social media commentary on,
Yeah.
and turn it into something substantial like a film.
But why now?
Oh, I mean, it's been 10 years, so
Exactly. So
Yeah.
so why now?
no, they're doing.
It's
it
been
'cause
10 years of
yeah.
documenting
It's been
his-
10 years
his
of
whole life
documentation.
of
Yeah, but again,
violence.
when do we?
I think they wanted
when
to
do we let
put
it go?
that decade into.
What could
Because
Chris
they-
Brown do to change this whole image? What could
Apparently
he do to
nothing.
change?
I don't
If you
think
still
that
making movies 10 years later,
Yeah, and on top of that, it's not even really what can he do. I don't think there's anything that can be done, but as much as people are still talking about it, I do think that the masses in some capacity have forgiven him. He's able to make money, to make appearances. Everyone, all of the women that I've seen, honey, the way they be locked up all over him in a figure 8 behind the scenes on the little thing he do, honey. Please, listen. They ain't worried about it. The man is living his life. He done got his bank back up, honey. Just go on and be quiet.
All right.
Wait.
On that note, moving on to our next topic, and we're back with an update. Do you all remember that viral video from Jacksonville, the one showing an officer smashing a young man's car window, forcibly removing him during a traffic stop, throwing him to the ground, scratching up his face, busting his tooth out? I mean, it was really terrible. Well, the officer has been reprimanded, but not for what most of us would expect. He wasn't cited for using excessive force, only for failing to include a face strike in his report. So,
I'm really curious when are we going to make sure police officers are accountable for what they can and what they cannot do with these stops, right? This is a standard. You're in your car. I'm making a stop. That's it. And you're like, you're an offender in some type of way. I'm gonna break through your window. I'm gonna have four people pull you out of the car. We're gonna beat you up for non-compliance.
listen, y'all want to burn Chris Brown at the stake. This is who we need to be holding people accountable. How do you just get that and everything is documented? It's on video. We literally watched y'all assault this man, beat him. Like, at what point, where are our rights, first of all? And then second of all, at what point is it too much? Because clearly this isn't too much if all he's getting was like, oh, well, you didn't do this. And at the same time, are we going to use our context clues? He left it out because of what? It was wrong. Mm-hmm. So we didn't even say, yeah, that shouldn't have been done. It's, oh, you just didn't cite it.
Well, according to him, he didn't find it to be excessive violence.
That's the problem.
Jumping a man.
He said he did not find it to be excessive violence, so he didn't include it
And that's
in the report.
the issue.
Jumping someone is not
I mean, I don't know what it takes to stop it. I mean, well,
That's disgusting.
it just seems like what happens here. Let me throw this in, and maybe you all can think about this. The chief of police, I believe, or the sheriff of that particular precinct or wherever he was from, the chief, I think, is a black man that is Republican. What's your thoughts about that?
Or I mean, he's gonna always side with his compadres,
Yeah.
whatever he wants to call them.
Yeah.
Because obviously he chose blue over being black.
Or being
Red.
wrong or right?
Yeah.
Right.
To me, as I look at, just how things are progressing, day to day right here in America, but all across the world, I just feel like, baby, we are really living in the Hunger Games, and I have never seen none
It's a
of.
dystopian
I'm telling you,
society.
I've never
Yeah.
seen any of the people from the city, whatever the city was called on Hunger Games. I didn't see any of those people getting reprimanded or getting in trouble for whatever they were doing against the civilians. And these are just the times that we are living in. It is time to truly wake up from our slumber, baby, and figure out how we going to beat the Matrix, baby, at the end of the day.
But what's the waking up for the slumber? Like, what's the answer? What do people do? Because you don't have any rights. If you ask a question, and I would imagine a young black man being pulled over or just stopped, or, white cops approaching him, I'm sure right away you feel something. You feel that there's danger. You feel a threat. And it's almost like you're not allowed to feel anything. But how can you not feel anything? I mean, you're constantly seeing the images of what can happen to you if, just period, and just being black.
And interesting enough, it's the same for them. Like when they approach a vehicle, they're afraid of the people that are in the car.
Yeah.
So they're allowed to exhibit
have-
fear and
yes,
show
emotions.
fear
Yeah.
and have emotions, but you are supposed to be this flat affect,
Yeah.
no emotion driven person and just take your punishment.
Yeah. For just being Black.
And it's like, are we not able to even just question? Like, I feel like that's a part of the law where you can ask why you're being stopped.
Yes.
I mean, you're actually supposed to be asked, do you know why you're being stopped first? And then they're supposed to tell you. This is like common. Like police, so they pull you over.
Yeah.
Do you know why you're being stopped? You say no. They tell you. You agree. If you agree, whatever ticket they give you, they give you. If you disagree, you go to court.
Yeah.
I feel like a random traffic stop should never lead to that, regardless.
Being jumped.
Regardless, getting pulled out of your car is insanity. And the fact, I just can't get over the fact that the entire thing was on video, and there's, for none of the officers, there's no accountability, there's no punishment. I bet they didn't even get let go.
Yeah.
They probably was on paid leave, if that.
If that, but we seen
Reprimanded.
Donald
That's a
Trump
slap on the
said
wrist.
that law enforcement will have complete immunity.
Clearly.
And this is why clearly they have immunity for what they've done against this young Black man. It happens to people of color, not just Black people, but people of color all across the world, and all across America, first of all. But then even to see how they just really found that loophole just to say, and that shows you that there's immunity. So there's no issue with what you did, but the issue is that you did not tell the story correctly, and that is the problem. That's why you're being
Would it have
recommended.
been excessive force if he had a whole bunch of people in his car and they jumped you?
At this point, I feel like that's what need to happen. At
that
this
point,
point,
If everybody in the car jumped you,
Yeah.
reprimanded, slap on the hand.
So you can't ask any questions. You can't stay in your car. You can't get out of your car. You can't go with them. You can't stay.
You can't give your
stay from
license.
them.
You got to keep your hands
What
up.
is
But also,
there?
you told him
The
to keep
only-
his hands down.
It
The
seems
only-
like the issue is you're existing, and that's the problem.
and the only good thing about this situation is that the man is alive.
Thank God.
Because we know that seeing all
Yes.
of that on video, that could have
totally
went a whole nother way and could have progressed. And I can say that's one thing that I am thankful for.
Yeah.
Thank God. I'm sure he's very traumatized.
I'm
but
sure.
I'm glad he still has his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, y'all. On a lighter note, because that was heavy. Now it's time to get into all things love, life, relationships, and everything in between. Let's get into Girlfriend's Guide. All right. So we're taking this discussion all the way over to the UK, where schools are taking an interesting step, my goodness, for the greater good by teaching boys how to treat women and girls with RESPECT. Some of the lessons will include teaching the boys about empathy,
Come on now.
boundaries,
Come on now.
consent,
Ooh, yes,
and
Lord.
healthy communication.
Yeah.
Love
Love
that.
it.
All of this is aimed to help stop harassment and gender-based violence before it even starts. But let's be real. Like, I think it's a great idea, but are we asking schools to do too much when it comes to shaping the personal values of these young men?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But some of them aren't getting it at home, realistically.
Yeah.
Bring that over
absolutely
to the
not.
U.S.
I saw a funny meme on social media the other day. And do you guys remember that stupid little flute that we used to play in school?
Yes, the recorder.
Yeah, the recorder. And somebody said that they had us wasting time playing this stupid little thing instead of teaching us about financial literacy.
Yeah.
Listen.
And that was just so funny to me. It took me way back because, baby, they didn't even really make music. It was noise. First of all, but it just made me, think about that when we're talking about the responsibility of what we should actually be learning in school that can set us up for life. And when you look at it, so many people are losing their freedom and their lives for this very thing, not knowing how to effectively communicate, not understanding that no means no, not respecting someone else's boundaries or body. And so I feel like, I hope that this is something that America could implement, but it definitely will not happen, I'm pretty sure, because they need people from the third grade to be set up to go fill them jails.
So the thing is, education doesn't have to only be what is it, soft and hard skills. It can be teaching education or emotional regulation, management, right? A lot of people are in these households where they weren't nurtured to be able to to give that education on boundary setting, emotional understanding. Like they don't have that in their lives. And that's the same way with formal education. Some people are at home with parents who don't know math, who don't know how to read, who don't know geography, history, and it makes sense for them to add emotional information. I mean, think about when they used to teach them how to cook. I feel like we lost the plot.
Once
we start doing that.
That's why these men can't flip an egg now.
The sewing, the cooking, the driving.
They taught these soft skills that you could have learned, and being able to emotionally regulate, being able to ask for consent, being able to draw boundaries is a life skill that will help you when you're trying to find employment, when you're trying to build relationships, when you're building connections. And if we can prevent violence based on gender, it actually starts with emotional education.
Yeah. Yeah. How to manage your emotions. Absolutely.
Here for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Well, we're moving on to our final segment of the day where things tend to get a little controversial. Every time I read that, I'm like, what? Controversial? We already did that. Welcome to Unpopular Opinion. So this is interesting. Mattel is adding an autistic Barbie to its line, joining its other dolls that represent Down syndrome, blindness, vitiligo, and more. On one hand, it's a win for representation. Kids finally see themselves. They see themselves in the dolls that look like them. On the other hand, some parents and even adults with autism were offended by this. Did Mattel miss the mark with this one?
I have a question.
What's your question?
What does autism look like?
What I wanted to say. What
does it look like? The headphones look like she's listening to music.
Yeah.
The book, the braille, the iPad with people who are nonverbal,
and the fidget ring.
It's spinner.
Baby, why would I want to play with that? I already have to live that life. This isn't representation. Y'all taking it too far. Autism, you live with it.
Yes.
So you can't represent that in a doll.
So you can't see that.
You can't physically
really from
see
the outside.
the living of being an individual with autism.
Yeah.
And so showing that,
because it
what's the
literally looks
benefit
different, like you said,
for every single person,
correct.
depending on where you are in the spectrum.
And this looks like a regular Barbie to me.
It looks like she's holding an iPad and she's listening to music.
Yeah, I thought it was just a Barbie.
And she's playing with something. So, how am I supposed to make the assumption that this doll has autism? Because again, what does autism look like?
So, do you think people are being just very sensitive to this doll?
I just don't think it's needed.
You don't think it's needed?
They didn't need a doll.
Okay.
That has autism.
And it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. Because I just thought it was a Barbie. Well, the doll is designed with guidance from the autistic community. That's what it said. So it features shifted eye gaze. I didn't get that. Noise canceling headphones. Who knows? A fidget spinner, articulated elbows, and wrist for stimming. Sensory sensitive clothes. How do you determine that? I don't know. A pink tablet to reflect how autistic people experience, process, and express themselves. I'm not quite sure. I don't get it.
I'm really confused as well. I think we were talking about Barbie somehow a few weeks ago, and I'm so sad to see, as much as I love Barbie growing up, that Barbie is definitely phasing out here. And I don't know if they're over there grasping for straws or what it is. I mean, I'm like,
they are drowning. You don't see this?
But do you think they're really grasping, or they're just really trying to represent other communities, but still
they're
keep
trying to
the
make
Barbie
some more
brand?
sales. They're trying to get a few dollars.
You can't try to be inclusive off of the back of capitalism. You can't say that. You can't. I'm trying to be inclusive, but I'm also trying to make money off of the struggles that you live with.
Well, it seems that's how it goes in general.
Right. No? So why do we need to do that with a doll?
We don't.
Well, because it's part of the capitalism.
My God.
I think you said it.
Well, clearly the people don't want it, honey. And the only people that's going to buy it are the ones that don't know it's supposed to be for autistic representation.
Take it off the shelf.
Well, oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, do you think, let me just throw this in. You think it's about just creating some controversy so the doll can sell?
I don't know if it's going to sell.
Period.
It's not going to sell.
Because a person who's living with unique abilities is not going to walk into a store and see a doll with sensory stemming clothes and it's just they're not going to see that.
Yeah.
Only their parents will, maybe.
Well, that's an official wrap for today's show. Catch us weekdays, 7:30 p.m. right here on Afro TV.